One summer when I was in high school, my family and I were going to take a vacation to Florida. My grandparents had a house there, right on the beach, that they weren't using at the time where we could stay. My parents told me and my little brother, who was only in the first grade at the time, that we could both choose one friend to take along on the trip. I had no hesitation when choosing who I was going to pick. My best friend at the time was a girl named Allie. We had met in one of our classes the year before and had been inseparable ever since. Allie got permission from her parents and we were all set to go. The trip started out amazing. We took a plane to Florida, so we arrived there in only a few hours. My parents, Allie, my brother, and his friend and I spent the day out on the beach. We built sandcastles and played in the water. After a while, Allie told me she was feeling tired from being outside in the sun and was going in to take a quick nap in the bedroom we shared. I told her that was fine, but I wanted to get a tan, so I decided to stay out a while longer with the rest of my family. She was gone for maybe an hour or so before she came back outside and helped out the rest of us with a giant sandcastle we were building. We worked on the sandcastle until nearly evening. My mom is really into photography and has one of those really fancy cameras, the kind that are several $100s. She wanted to snap a photo of the sandcastle we had built, so she went inside to retrieve the camera from her bag. She was gone so long that I eventually went in to see what she was doing. She was sitting on the floor in the room she was going to be sharing with my dad and had dumped her entire suitcase on the floor. She said she was positive she had packed her camera in the suitcase but couldn't find it now. We searched several other suitcases just in case it had gotten mixed up in someone else's stuff, but the camera was nowhere to be found. I ended up telling my mom that she must have just forgotten the camera at home. She was disappointed, but she still had her phone that she could use to get some pictures during the trip. The rest of the trip went by without an incident, and we all had a nice time. I felt like the day that we were supposed to go home came way too quickly, but we packed up our things and drove to the airport to catch our flight. After getting off the plane, we dropped off Allie and my brother's friend at their house before returning home to unpack. One of the first things my mom did when she got home was look around for her camera. She still couldn't find it. At this point, we thought maybe it somehow had gotten lost when we went through security at the airport. A couple of weeks later, I was scrolling through Instagram when I noticed that Allie had posted some recent photos. I clicked on the post and began scrolling through the photos. I was stunned. Each one was beautiful. Some were selfies and others were pictures of friends and nature. I was confused about how these photos were such great quality. Allie had the same iPhone that I had and my pictures were nowhere near as clear. I got a sick feeling in my stomach as I thought about my mom's missing camera. Could Allie have stolen it? Surely she wouldn't do that after how kind my family was to take her on the vacation. I couldn't get rid of the feeling as hard as I tried, so I just made a plan. The next day at school, I asked to leave class to use the restroom, but when I left, I walked straight to Allie's locker. I knew her combination, so I unlocked it easily on the first try. Her backpack was hanging on a hook inside. I unzipped it and my heart dropped to my stomach when I saw my mom's expensive camera inside. I had never felt so betrayed. I took the camera and put it into my locker and waited until the end of the day to confront Allie. When I told her what I had found, she began crying and apologized over and over again. But there was no repairing the relationship after that, and our friendship ended forever that day. It was fall break and I was a sophomore in high school. My cousin was getting married, so my family and I were going to go out of town to attend the wedding. We would only be gone a couple of days, but we needed someone to take care of our dog Molly in the meantime. Normally, the sweet elderly lady next door would do this for us, but she was out of town visiting her sister. We were desperate to find someone, so I ended up asking my best friend, Janelle. It was an easy job. All it required was coming over a few times a day to let Molly out, play with her for a bit, and make sure her food and water dishes stayed full. My parents even offered to pay her $100 for the easy 2-day job. Because Molly lived in the same neighborhood as us, it would only be a 10-minute walk or so to our house each day. Molly jumped at the opportunity and told us she would be happy to help out. My mom left some instructions for her, and then we were on our way to the wedding. Throughout the 2 days that we were gone, Janelle and I had texted on and off. She sent me cute videos of Molly, and I knew my beloved puppy was being well taken care of. My family and I had a great time at the wedding, and we ended up arriving home that Sunday evening right on schedule. It was clear Janelle had done her job well. Molly's food and water dishes were full, and there were no accidents in the house. My parents gave me a check to pass on to Janelle, and I decided to ride my bike over to her house to deliver it that night. I chatted with her a bit, thanked her again for watching Molly, and then biked back home. A few weeks went by and we were getting ready to go to dinner to celebrate my grandparents' anniversary. I was getting dressed in my room when I heard my mom call me, so I went to see what she wanted. She told me that the diamond necklace she had planned to wear to the dinner was missing. It was a very special necklace that her mother had given her when she was younger, and she always kept it in the exact same place, the first drawer in her jewelry box. She asked me if I had borrowed it, and I told her I hadn't before going back to my room and temporarily forgetting about it. The next day, I was working on homework in my room when my parents called me downstairs. I could tell immediately by looking at their faces that this was about something serious. They told me they had checked the cameras we have in the house. My brother has seizures from time to time, so the cameras are for his safety. They told me that when they checked the cameras, they saw Janelle going through my mom's jewelry and pocket the necklace. They weren't going to file a police report, but they had told her parents and gotten the necklace back. I was furious, but also heartbroken that Janelle would do such a thing. I cut her out of my life completely and have avoided her ever since. For Christmas a few years ago, my parents surprised me with some new Apple AirPods. I hadn't been expecting it at all, and I was so excited and grateful. I was on a health kick at the time and was going to the gym almost every day. I was looking forward to being able to listen to music during my workouts now. I had always heard so many stories of people losing one or both of their AirPods after a couple of months, so I decided to buy a protective case for them and attach it to my key ring, which I took everywhere with me. I was determined to take good care of the headphones and not lose them. A few days after Christmas, I asked my friend Annie if she wanted to work out with me, which was something we did a lot together. She agreed, so we met up a short while later at our local gym. I didn't like having to mess with the lockers at the gym, so I would always lock my purse in the car and just bring my keys, phone, and water bottle. I would keep these things with me the whole time I was there. Annie and I got a good workout in, and we were nearly dripping with sweat by the time we were done. I had chugged so much water that I was bursting at the seams and asked Annie if she would hold my things for a while I ran into the bathroom really quickly. She took the things and I headed to the restroom. When I was done, she gave me back my stuff and we headed out into the parking lot. After chatting a couple of minutes, we both waved goodbye and headed home. A couple of days went by and I decided to go for a run around my neighborhood. I grabbed my keys out of my purse and was going to take out my headphones. To my shock, they had been unclipped from the key ring and were nowhere in sight. I knew that the last time I had used them was at the gym, and was sure I wouldn't have taken them off the key ring. I began to get stressed as I wondered if I somehow dropped them in the parking lot. Then I remembered that they were connected to my phone through the Find My Devices app. As long as they were still charged, I should be able to see their location through my phone. I opened the app and sure enough, I could see a little bubble indicating where they were located. I couldn't have been more shocked when I recognized the address. It was Annie's house. I took a few minutes to calm down before calling her and confronting her about it. She tried to deny it at first, but there was no overlooking the evidence. She returned the headphones to me, but we never spoke again after that. Sleep tight.